In the peaceful kingdom of Obuduocha, there lived King Obuduocha the Just. He reigned with wisdom and dignity, but his one sorrow was the absence of a male heir. His first wife, Queen Nwaneka, had blessed the palace with 3 beautiful daughters, but no son. In a bid to secure his lineage, and after consulting the council of elders and diviners, the king reluctantly took a second wife, the gentle and graceful Queen Ijoma. As fate will have it, both queens became pregnant in the same moon cycle. Whispers began spreading through the palace and the marketplace. Who will bear the heir of Obuduocha? The pressure mounted. Queen Nwaneka, once beloved, felt her influence slipping away with each passing day. Desperation led her down a dangerous path. Secretly, she conspired with a trusted midwife and a palace herbalist. The plan was simple but dangerous. She would induce early labor once the second wife began hers, and if Queen Ijoma gave birth to a son, they would swap the children before anyone could tell the difference. On the day of delivery, the 2 queens went into labor hours apart. True to the plan, Queen Nwaneka took a secret substance to speed her labor. The palace was bursting of activities. At the peak of Queen Ijoma's labor, the palace midwife entered with a bowl of herbs and a calming voice. "Drink this, my queen. It will hasten the birth," she said. Too weak to argue, Queen Ijoma drank it all. Moments later, her limbs went heavy. Darkness closed in like a thick fog. She slipped into a deep unnatural sleep. While she slept, the scheme unfolded. Queen Nwaneka, already in labor, delivered a baby girl. But that was not the story that the kingdom will hear. As agreed, the midwives swapped the babies. Queen Ijoma's son became Queen Nwaneka's first son. The daughter was wrapped up and placed in Queen Ijoma's arms. Queen Ijoma awoke, her head spun. She blinked as the midwife entered with a smile. "Congratulations, Queen Ijoma, the gods have blessed you with a daughter." "A daughter?" she asked faintly. Her heart sank. Her memory flashed back to the day she encountered Ezemo, the eyes of the gods, during his rare visit to the palace. He had looked upon her belly and smiled. "Neze," he had said, "Mother of the king, you have found favor with the gods." Could the eyes of the gods have been wrong? God forbid such thoughts, she whispered. But still, something felt off. She felt no connection to this child, no warmth, no closeness, just an unsettling emptiness. Acting on impulse, she gently unwrapped the baby's clothes and turned her tie. Every woman in her maternal lineage bore a birthmark, a small dark crystal just on the right thigh. Her grandmother had it. Her mother had it. She also had it. But this child had nothing. Before she could make sense of her thoughts, the king walked in, joy lightening his face. Pleasantries followed. The midwife cleared her throat and spoke gravely. "My king, Queen Ijoma experienced complications. The gods were merciful, but she may never bear children again." The king, ever compassionate, took Ijoma's hand. "Your life is worth more than many sons. One child is better than none." Swallowing her doubts, Queen Ijoma smiled and nodded. She wrapped her child close. It is me and you now, my daughter. I will name you Ugomma, the beautiful eagle. Queen Nwaneka, on the other hand, presented her stolen son to the kingdom. Everyone rejoiced over the birth of their heir, and he was named Onochie. 4 seasons passed. To everyone's surprise, Queen Nwaneka conceived again. When her time came, she gave birth to another son. The palace erupted in celebration. The gods have remembered us, the people cried. 2 sons for Obuduocha. But Queen Nwaneka did not rejoice. Instead, her heart grew heavy and cold towards Onochie, the first boy she had claimed. Where once she displayed pride, now she showed scold. She denied him food. She found fault in his every word and step. She punished him frequently. One rainy evening, after a harsh scolding, she sent the boy outside in the storm. "Stay there until you learn to behave like a prince," she yelled. Shivering in the cold, the boy sat alone, tears lost in the rain. From across the palace yard, Queen Ijeoma saw a small figure trembling under the storm. "Ugomma, is that not?" Ha! Together, they ran out and lifted him gently. In her hut, Queen Ijeoma boiled hot water and wrapped him in a warm cloth. She fed him, gave him herbs, and wiped his body with a warm towel. Just as she wiped his palms, his foot, his thigh, then she saw it. There, on his right thigh, was the birthmark, the unmistakable dark crystal shared by generations of women in her family. She froze, her hands trembling, her breath caught. It cannot be. Tears welled in her eyes as the truth pierced her heart like a spear. "Onochie, my son?" That night, Queen Ijeoma could not sleep. Onochie laid quietly in a corner of her hut, wrapped in her finest clothes. His body finally warm, Ugomma slept beside him, her tiny fingers resting protectively on his arm. Queen Ijeoma's heart raced. She stared into the dimly light ceiling, mind turning like the village grinding stone. Why would Queen Nwaneka do this to me? Could the midwives have betrayed me? What power is so strong enough to separate a mother from her own child? She rose silently and sat before her shrine, lighting a candle and dropping 3 kola nuts into the calabash. She whispered a prayer to her ancestors. "I seek the truth. I seek justice. If this child is mine, lead me. If my womb was robbed, expose it."